Hello everyone. In this episode, I cover the topic the hidden limits of defense dependence between Israel and India. India and Israel are often described as one of the most successful modern defense partnerships built quietly over decades through technology transfer, intelligence coordination, and shared security concerns. Yet beneath this visible success lies an important structural reality that rarely receives attention. Defense cooperation creates capability, but dependence introduces limits. Every strategic partnership carries an invisible boundary where autonomy must be preserved, and the India Israel relationship illustrates this tension with unusual clarity. India's engagement with Israeli defense technology accelerated after the late 1990s when urgent operational requirements pushed New Delhi towards rapid procurement of surveillance systems, precision munitions, missile defense, and unmanned platforms. Israeli firms proved uniquely suited to India's needs because they combined battlefield tested innovation with willingness to customize systems without heavy political conditions. This flexibility allowed India to strengthen tactical capacity quickly, yet it also created pockets of technological reliance in critical domains such as sensors, electronic warfare, and drone ecosystems. The first hidden limit emerges from scale. Israel excels at niche, high impact innovation, but India's security requirements operate at continental scale across multiple theaters. Systems designed for smaller operational environments cannot always translate directly into India's long duration conflict scenarios without significant domestic adaptation. As a result, Israeli technology often becomes a layer with India's broader architecture rather than its foundation, forcing India to continuously invest in indigenous manufacturing to prevent capability gaps. The second constraint is strategic diversification. India's defense posture depends on maintaining relationships across competing geopolitical blocs, including the United States, Russia, Europe, and emerging Asian partners. Deep dependence on any single technology ecosystem risks reducing diplomatic flexibility, particularly in moments of crisis when supply chains become politicized. Israeli cooperation therefore functions best when embedded with multi-source procurement strategy rather than a dominant pillar, ensuring that capability enhancement does not translate into strategic vulnerability. Industrial structure introduces another limit that is less visible but equally important. Israel's defense sector operates through highly specialized firms with rapid innovation cycles, whereas India's long-term objective centers on domestic production capacity and supply chain sovereignty. The partnership consequently shifts from buyer-supplier dynamics towards co-development framework, where technology sharing must balance commercial protection with India's ambition for self-reliance. This negotiation defines the future depth of cooperation more than individual weapon further layer of complexity. India's expanding engagement with Gulf states, its historical ties with Iran, and its aspiration to act as balancing actor in the Middle East requires that defense cooperation with Israel remains calibrated rather than symbolic. Visibility itself becomes strategic. India benefits from Israeli technology, but excessive signaling could narrow diplomatic space in regions where India seeks economic and energy partnerships. The relationship therefore evolves through operational depth combined with political restraint. Technological evolution also reshapes dependence in subtle ways. As warfare moves towards software intelligence, software, artificial intelligence, cyber integration, and network sensors, the value of hardware procurement declines related to ecosystem control. Israel remains a leader in innovation, yet long-term autonomy depends on India's ability to internalize these capabilities with domestic research and industrial framework. The technology India buys, but how effectively it absorbs and redesigns it. This reveals the central paradox of partnership. Israeli cooperation accelerates India's modernization, but but its greatest success is achieved when dependence gradually decreases rather than increases. Mature defense relationships create learning curves, not permanent lands. The strength of the India-Israel connection lies precisely in its capacity to transition from acquisition to adaptation, from technology access to technological coincidence, from, techno- uh, from technology access to technological confidence. The hidden limits of defense dependence, therefore, do not signal weakness in the partnership. Instead, they reflect its evolution into more complex strategic relationships where capability, autonomy, diplomacy, and industry intersect. India does not seek independence from cooperation, but independence within cooperation. In that distinction lies the future architecture of this partnership, one defined less by procurement volume and more by the balance between innovation and sovereignty. That's our topic for the hidden limits of defense dependence between India and Israel. Thank you for tuning in with us. Have a great day.